pinion lined up with the spur. Tighten that grub screw up. Then what I want to do is set the proper gear lash. You don't want it too tight, but you don't want it too loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and snug up the bottom screw. I usually like to start with one snug and then work with the other one. You want a little bit of a click with your spur gear. You don't want it too tight, otherwise it'll bound up. I like a little bit of play. And with one screw snugged up, you can actually twist the motor and do your adjusting there. I like to hear a little click when I move the spur gear back and forth. And that is pretty good. So tighten those up, and there we go. Motor's mounted, transmission's mounted, spur gear's mounted, pinion gear's mounted. It's basically the power system right there. We'll wire up the motor later when we do the speed controller and rest of the radio equipment. So, basically steps 21 through 25, all the parts from bag D are gone. Those steps are done. We're going to set the transmission aside. We are going to grab the front axle assembly. With the front axle assembly in our hands, we are then going to take and grab bag E, cut it open. We're going to put the servo mount plate on and the servo. We're going to do this all in one run here so we don't have to do it again. So we're going to get rid of bag E, we don't need it anymore. We're going to grab our high-tech servo. So we've got that handy. We've got a couple of screw bags, so we'll do the same thing like we've done before. We're just going to cut these open, put the screws into the bag or into our pan here so we don't lose anything. Now, another thing we're going to need to do is get the rest of these out. Chair a little more comfortable there. Get all those screws out of the bag there. You're going to need the mounts, which you can either use the single or the double mounts, and I got to find the parts tree. That's part tree 80007 has the mounts on them, and there's actually a couple of different. They have a single screw mount or a double screw. Now that's got the singles and the doubles. And we got another parts tree here. I'm just going to confirm it here, but I think we do. Yeah, we've got a parts tree error. Another one. 80007, I guess. I'm not even finding. I've got 0009, 5, 32, 18, 18, 11, 4, 006. Yeah, I'm not even coming across a parts tree with that number even on it. $31, $27. This is what's left of 26. Yeah, we don't even have that parts tree number. They're showing to use basically and this one's already been knocked off this parts tree number, so there is a parts tree number error for this page. They're requesting parts tree number 80007 when in fact the servo mounts are actually on 80028. So that's going to be 80028. Single servo mounts are double at this point. They got 4 doubles on here, just because the directions are saying to use the singles. That's what we're going to use for this servo mount. Normally I like to have 2 screws holding my servos on, so we may change this later down the road, but for now we're going to do it bone stock. Okay, locate 2 of the screws. They are the self-tapping countersunk. If you look at the plate, you want actually the pan heads for these, which are those right there. Those are going to be for your servo mounts. These are adjustable to fit different width servos. We'll get that one started there. We'll grab the other one. Find our hole here. This is actually the adjustable side. It'll adjust for width. So the one side you can crank tight. The other side, what we do is snug it up. I'm not going to go 100% tight on yet because I got to adjust for the width of my servo. I have a plate. Servo horn is going to go to the right when you're facing it. Line yourself up on your one hole that's not adjustable. Get yourself lined up on the other one. That's actually pretty good right there. And that'll be centered. Okay, and what you can do, hold that over the axle. There's 3 posts that come up off the top of the axle. And you're going to have self-tapping countersunk screws, 2 long, 1 short. The long ones go in the long towers on the front. That one started. The other front one cranked down here. And the short one goes in the back post, being that it's the short post. Like so. Okay, servo. You got 2 screws, self-tapping Phillips. Take your servo, set it back in your mount, and